Men of the Imperium, the Tau fleet have successfully conquered Merica too. Take it back and give them hell. Hoorah! No tyrants, no empire shall rule this world but the Imperium of mankind. Sic Semper Tyrannis, lay low on their ethereals and slay their commanders, brothers. Hello everybody, and welcome to the video. While researching my video about Merica on Terra, I stumbled across a piece of fandom lore that just resonates with everything on a spiritual level. The Gulf Hawks and our home world of New Merica. Everything here is kept true to the vision and wording of the original author, while I have only expanding upon a few of the heroes which we will meet. So sit down, get comfortable, and let me tell you about the chapter of Space Americans. It began long ago in the dark age of technology. An expedition fleet from Terra, designated as ASA-14, discovered a true paradise world located in what in modern 40K would become known as the outer areas of the Ultima Segmentum. This world consisted of vast expanses of verdant grasslands, forests and rugged mountains teeming with life, rich in flora, fauna, and with very little in the way of predators that would pose a threat to the colonists. The explorers ventured out from their ships and little by little claimed it and named this emerald jewel New Merica. Located in the expanse between Calv and Espador, the planet and its neighboring worlds, including Texas, spelled TEXXUS, would remain largely unrecorded for millennia, allowing it to develop under its ideas and ideals taken with them from old Merica. This would shield them from quite a bit of influence, which you will be able to tell. During the glory days of the Great Crusade, where the legions were trampling throughout the galaxy, New Merica was rediscovered and brought into compliance. No records tell about the process of this, but I cannot imagine that these lovers of liberty would miss out on a chance to reunite humanity on a galactic scale. Seems like the kind of thing that they would be into. Many of its hardy people were uplifted and recruited into the Ultramarines Legion, becoming a wonderful and dedicated recruitment world for the Angels of Death. But the planet carried an even greater secret within it. Within its ancient parts of the first hive cities, local Terran-born nobles uncovered a long-lost artifact, a physical copy of an ancient constitution of the long-forgotten nation of Merica from old Terra. This priceless relic was sold to a rogue trader known as Clyfan Hess. Years later, an expedition from New Merica recovered it from a buried installation on the planet's moon, Patton. The sacred document was brought to the halls of the Imperial Congress in the hive city of Tibba, and over time planetary governors and councils would revise and adapt this ancient text. The result was the revered Constitution Document Artifact, or in short CDA. This living document became the foundation of New Merica society, shaping its laws, culture, and even what would become the warrior creed of the Gulf Hawks themselves. Sometime later in the 37 millennium, destiny called upon the people of New Merica and their surrounding worlds. On the world of Sabran III, the Ultramarine 6th Company fought a desperate and valorous campaign, among them Sergeant Tiberius Washington of the 3rd Tactical Squad. He distinguished himself with unmatched courage and tactical brilliance. His deeds caught the eye of, at the time, Chapter Master, who saw in Washington the perfect leader for a generation of new warriors. As a reward for his exemplary service to the chapter and the Imperium, Sergeant Washington was granted this supreme honor, commanding of a newly raised successor chapter and to lead them on into further glories. From this figure of legend, the Gulf Hawks were born, and the high world of New Merica was bestowed upon them as their eternal homeworld and primary recruiting ground. Their chapter was raised from the strong, untainted gene stock of New Merica's people and combined with the famously stable gene seed of the Ultramarines, this would create a subchapter of reliable warriors untainted by the darkness that lies between the stars or within the bodies of mankind. Like their gene sire, Roboute Guilliman, the Gulf Hawks embody superlative organization and exceptional tactical acumen, making them more of a force of professional soldiers rather than glory-seeking fighters. Their adherence to the Codex Astartes run deep, as the adherence to creed, virtue, and documentation is woven into their very souls. To the battle brothers of the Gulf Hawks and the citizens of New Merica alike, freedom, honor, and devotions are not mere words. They are sacred elements of the Emperor himself, and they will be defended at all costs. Without them knowing, this exact ideal was kept in high regard back on Old Terra during the Age of Strife, to such an extent that the Emperor would even preserve the people from which this force originally sprang from. I just thought that was a fun way to tie that together. Far on the eastern edge of the Ultima Segmentum, between the proud worlds of Calth and Espendor, lies the homeworld of the Gulf Hawks, the mighty hive world of New Merica. I mentioned that this planet started out as a pristine paradise of endless grasslands, ancient forests, and rugged mountains, but as we all know, the destiny of most worlds within the Imperium of Man is to be transformed, and New Merica was transformed over the millennia into a sprawling industrial powerhouse. Nearly 21 billion souls call this planet home. They toil in the manufactorums, colossal forge works, and at the assembly builds, producing weapons and war machines for the chapter and the wider Imperium. When this production is not the calling of a citizen, they serve with pride in the planet's elite PDF called the Unimerican Armed Forces, or the UMAF. Among all the high worlds in the realm of Ultramar, New Merica stands out. Its greatest city, New Seattle, has become a beacon of knowledge and progress, a rare bastion of scholars, technologists, and space engineers that still dare to innovate in the suffocating dark of the 41st millennium, protected by their relative undocumented nature and ancient constitutions. Constant Imperial Navy patrols and layers of formidable planetary and orbital defenses, New Merica remains an impregnable fortress against heretics, Xenos, and internal rebellion alike. But the true strength of New Merica does not lie only in its forges and within its fleets. It lies in the blood of its people and their fierce spirit. The Gulf Hawks recruit from every stratum of society, whether a candidate is from a battle-hardened settlement militia, war orphans, sons of lower middle-class families, UMFA veterans, privileged patriarchs, street-hardened gangers, or even former criminals. All are judged by the same merciless standards in accordance with the ancient constitution. The chapter seeks aggression, martial mastery, flawless marksmanship, and an unbreakable sense of justice, and that very rare psychotic level killer instinct required to become an angel of death. Aspirants are trained and encouraged to prove themselves in disciplines that develop their technical aptitudes, demonstrating that they can operate the chapter's vehicles from Predators, Razorback, and Rhinos to the mighty Storm Eagles. The very best of these aspirants will then go on to be allowed to master the advanced repulsors and Hellstorm impulsors within the chapter. While following the trials of recruitment as set up by the parent chapter, the final trial is as brutal as it is legendary. Those who survive the initial tests are sent to the deadly feral world of Rytal. For 3 grueling years, they must hunt something known as the Hast, a monstrous raptor descending from ancient Terran bloodlines, grown to the size of a Thunderhawk gunship. They are ordered to return with 10 of the Hast feathers as proof of their worth. Those who succeed earn the right to become Scout Marines and receive the first sacred Adeptus Astartes implants, truly starting their journey to becoming a true Gulf Hawk. Those who fall short are however not discarded, but are kept to serve the Gulf Hawks as chapter serfs, treated with fairness and respect by their transhuman masters, knowing that while these men did not succeed, within them still beats the heart of an American. Thanks to the genetics and inheritance from the Ultramarines, the Gulf Hawks are a picture of the Emperor's vision for what the Space Marines are supposed to be. Yet, while it remains flawless, this purity carries echoes of ancient terror. The sons of the Gulf Hawks possess an unyielding obsession with discipline and flawless order to the point that it goes beyond practicality. They carry within them a fierce devotion to personal freedom, honor, and a staunch spirit that demand absolute loyalty to the chapter, the homeworld of Merica, and the Imperium of Man itself. This means that the chapter can quite easily be considered rigid and formulaic in their tactics and mentality. A Gulf Hawk is expected in the warrior culture to never be truly unarmed. Even in moments of rest or doing ceremonial inspections of their protectorate, every battle brother keeps his boulder and chainsword close at hand, ready at a moment's notice. And as I said, this is no mere habit, this is drilled into their very spirits. Their gene seed binds them to the imperial truth, to the sacred Codex Astartes, and to the revered constitutional document Artifact, especially its Second Amendment, which they hold in especially high regard. But such purity is not without cost, as even after 10,000 years, the purity of the lineage has started to show small cracks. The Gulf Hawks suffer from a subtle flaw, that they are incapable of entering REM sleep, as well as their eyes over time altering themselves into a piercing reddish pupil set against a cold blue iris. These traits, combined with a naturally wary and aloof demeanor, often make them appear distant and even unfriendly to warriors of other chapters, meaning that being deployed alongside the Gulf Hawks is a strenuous affair. Yet, should another chapter prove worthy in the fires of battle, the Gulf Hawks will embrace them as true brothers in arms, bound by blood and unbreakable honor. Their greatest leaders have shaped not only the chapter, but an entire world's destiny, and while every Gulf Hawk has greatness within them, a few has managed to stand out even amongst these of the Emperor's finest. Of course, I have to talk about Chapter General Tiberius Washington, Patriarch and first Chapter Master or Chapter General of the Gulf Hawks. Long before the creation of the actual chapter, Tiberius Washington was already a legend within the Ultramarine 6th Company. A sergeant of unyielding resolve, Washington rose through the ranks during the brutal campaigns of the Eastern Fringes. His tactical brilliance and iron discipline caught the eye of the chapter master during this time, especially during the defense of Sabran Free. For his heroic actions, where he held a vital breach against overwhelming chaos forces with nothing but a handful of battle brothers, Washington was granted the supreme honor, command of a newly founded successor chapter. He became the Patriarch and first Chapter General of the Gulf Hawks. He led here not as a distant tyrant, but as a guardian of ancient American ideals, freedom through strength, order through discipline. He personally oversaw the drafting of the chapter's revised constitution document Artifact and instilled in every recruit the belief that they fought not just for the Emperor, but for the right of humanity to live free. Tiberius Washington wielded the Liberty's Verdict, a mastercrafted power sword with a bolt pistol built into the crossguard. The blade was said to have been forged from the blueprints derived from the Constitution itself, and to this very day, only the chapter's relic keepers may touch it beside the appointed chapter general. In the current day, they are led by the Primaris Chapter General Edward Jack Grant. Millennia after the founding, Edward Jack Grant rose as the first Primaris to command the Gulf Hawks. A born leader from America's elite military academies, Grant was among the earliest Primaris reinforcements received by the chapter. Initially met with suspicion by the Firstborn, Grant proved his worth during the brutal Pontifex Crusade, where he orchestrated a flawless orbital drop that turned the tide of war in under 4 months. After the Crusade, the chapter slowly fully transitioned to Primaris under his leadership, and he was elected as the new chapter general. Grant continues Washington's legacy while adapting it to the grim realities of the Indomitus era. He leads with calculated precision and conviction, where he holds regular war councils where even sergeants may speak freely, a reflection of New Merica's values that refuse to be dimmed even in this darkness. Grant bears New Merica's oath, a unique Primaris pattern helmet integrated with an advanced tactical cogitator array. This relic allows him to process battlefield data at great speeds while projecting holographic versions of the chapter's constitution in the heart of battle, a symbolic reminder to his warriors of what they fight to preserve. Chief Librarian Bran Franklin served as the psychic anchor and spiritual guide of the Gulf Hawks. Recruited from the scholarly spires of New Seattle on New Merica, Franklin was a prodigy even before his ascension to the Liberias. His psychic might and scholarly mind made him the natural choice as the chapter's first chief librarian. Franklin's approach to his role blended the stoic wisdom of the Ultramarines with the fierce intellectual freedom of his own world. He taught that knowledge and truth were weapons as vital as any bolter. Under his guidance, the Gulf Hawks Liberias became renowned not only for psychic power, but for strategic insight and the preservation of forbidden lore, always carefully controlled to prevent corruption. During the Cabal Crusade, Franklin banished a summoned bloodthirster by weaving a psychic manifestation of the Imperial truth itself, disrupting the daemon's warp connection long enough for the chapter forces to deliver a killing blow. During this battle, Franklin wielded the Beacon of Liberty, a unique four-stab topped with a crystalline aquila said to contain a shard of ancient Terran technology recovered from New Merica's moon. The staff amplifies his psychic abilities while projecting a protective aura of pure truth, weakening nearby demons and sorcerers. However, each Marine among the Gulf Hawks are a paragon, and those who excel amongst even their peers are asked to join the special unit of Delta Commandos. These elite warriors are handpicked from the deadliest and most brilliant battle brothers across the 2nd through 10th companies. Only the finest marksmen, tacticians, and shadows of war earn a place amongst them. The Delta Commandos were forged in the aftermath of the War of the Beast. It was then that Brother Bryson, Brother Teller, and Sergeant Mateus displayed unparalleled skills by using masterful marksmanship, stealth, demolition expertise, and razor-sharp enhanced interrogation tactics to dismantle an Alpha Legion operation aimed at weakening the Imperium. Through superior cunning and flawless execution, these 3 heroes and their brethren slew over 60 Alpha Legion operatives and successfully defended the vital moon of Neo Vellum from falling into traitor hands. A member of the Delta Commando is clad in heavily modified Mark X Tacticus power armor. The Delta Commandos are walking arsenals as they carry specialized ammunition bandoliers, extra magazine, and explosive pouches. Special to them, they wear omni-scramblers to disrupt enemy centers, and their helmets are augmented with advanced systems capable of piercing camouflage, detecting stealth fields, and reading body heat signatures. Each Delta Commando is armed with a commando knife for silent kills, suppressed bolt rifles, silent bolt carbines, and the deadly Mark III Shrike Bolt sniper rifle. They're also deployed wearing advanced camo cloaks that allows them to slip into stealth mode while wearing power armor, becoming near invisible as they infiltrate enemy territory. Silent, ruthless, and unrelenting, the Delta Commandos are the Gulf Hawks' ultimate weapon for asymmetric warfare and surgical strikes behind enemy lines. True to the tactical wisdom of their gene-sire rebooted Guilliman, the rank-and-file Gulfhawk excel in ranged warfare, armored thrusts and devastating air-to-ground assaults. They specialize in surgical decapitation strikes led by highly skilled intercessors, followed by overwhelming mass charges of crushing volley fire from repulsor executioners, all supported by relentless artillery barrages from Hellstorm impulsors. Thanks to a vast armada of Storm Eagles and Fire Raptors screaming through the sky, the Gulfhawks descend upon their enemies like avian predators upon prey, delivering superior firepower from both land and air in a perfect, merciless coordination, all which I'm sure would bring a tear to Guilliman's eye. Through close cooperation with Merica's finest manufacturers, the Rex Arms, the Davin Defense, Hunk Int, LaRouche Tactical and Brontech Industries, they produced custom bolt rifles under special sanction from the Chapter General and Master of the Forge, Rendrick Black. These weapons boast thermal optics, foregrips, anti-recoil stocks and other deadly innovations that I'm sure the Adeptus Mechanicals are absolutely fine with, right? Their aggressors are equally formidable, wielding bolt storm gauntlets upgraded with targeting sensors and laser pointers, modified with barrels that extend their effective range far beyond the standard pattern. The chapter's adaptation of grav tanks is equally impressive, with support from their local industry, especially Hawk-In, Bladetech and Imperium Co. The Gulfhawks mass-produced the repulsor executioner to the best of their abilities. Nearly 300 of these war machines prowl their armory currently. Stripped of any capability to transport, this is in order to make room for the twin heavy laser destroyers and advanced grav stabilizers, making these tanks able to deliver devastatingly precise firepower. Their Primaris impulsors has also been heavily modified as well, armed with Whirlwind multi-missile batteries and Onslaught Gatling cannons. Finally, the chapter's iconic Storm Eagles and Fire Raptors have been fully upgraded for Primaris pilots thanks to the cutting-edge technology from their patron Hawksky Tech. These gunships feature radar-defeating systems that render them near invisible, especially to the advanced sensors array of the Eldar and Tau. I have to point out here, this is what it says. I could go into great details about the specifics of the chapter's organization, but quite frankly, I don't think that I can do it justice. This section about the Gulfhawks is so fleshed out and detailed that we're given specifics in regards to their armory, characters for each of the companies, and much more, and I highly recommend that you go and have a look if you enjoy these things, as we are truly blessed by the author on this one. The Gulfhawks has carved their legacy in blood across the stars, from penal worlds to ocean planets and the fires of multi-front galactic war. These sons of Guilliman keep proving themselves, especially in engagements such as the Cabal Crusade. When the penal world of Cabal rose in bloody rebellion against the Imperium, a desperate distress call reached Chapter General Pershing. Without hesitation, he dispatched the Third Company under Captain Harland and Chaplain Thomas Haggard aboard the strike cruiser Bloodstorm Talon. Upon planetfall, the Gulfhawks walked straight into a trap, ambushed by rebel forces outnumbering them more than 5-1. Yet the disciplined fury of the Third Company shattered the ambush with minimal losses, and it was not long before they discovered the truth. The rebellion was tainted by chaos. Month after month, the Gulfhawks purged hive prison after hive prison in fire, steel, and plasma. They fought corrupted prisoners, cultists, and demons of Khorne and Nurgle that were summoned. They reunited with surviving Arbites and PDF forces, swelling their ranks with nearly 3,000 loyal warriors. The greatest threat, however, awaited in the hive prison Korgal, where the chaos sorcerer Akramor the Pious had sacrificed thousands to summon a true avatar of Khorne, a bloodthirster. The Third Company launched a daring strike behind enemy lines, and for 8 brutal days they held firm, and in a duel that lasted several hours, Captain Harland finally slew the greater demon with a blessed bolt through its skull. With the bloodthirster dead, the rebellion collapsed and the remaining traitors were locked in the inner sanctums and obliterated by orbital bombardment. Though the Chaos Sorcerer escaped into the warp, Cabal was in fact saved, and in honor of his valor, Captain Harland received a master-crafted dual bolt gun capable of firing Inferno and Metal Storm rounds. 5 years later, the ocean world of Davarati came under siege by rampaging orc freebooters. A gladiator strike of the Gulf Hawks' 1st, 4th and 5th companies, led by Captain Irving, deployed alongside their Gene brothers of the Space Nagas 5th Company and the Spectral Rangers 2nd Company. While their allies fought on land, the Gulf Hawks dominated both the skies and the depths. Armed with custom underwater bolters and heavy weapons, they waged savage warfare beneath the waves, destroying orc submarines and ramshackle warships through daring boarding actions and demolition runs. After 5 years of brutal fighting, the planet was liberated. The final blow came when a Space Naga librarian slew the orc Weird Boy, and Captain Matthew Cutter personally beheaded the orc mecha boss Mark Chopper. Once more, the successors of Gilliman stood victorious. Closer to home, the verdant world of Texas, a close neighbor to the homeworld of Merica, faced annihilation. A massive chaos horde known as the Pride of Slaanesh, led by the sorcerer queen Tarnak the Enslaver, poured through warp rifts summoned by hidden cults. The Gulf Hawks 4th Company, fighting alongside the entire Spectral Rangers chapter and the Texas militia, met the Daemonettes and a company of Emperor's children in a savage combat. In the campaign's climax, Captain Murphy delivered a blessed bolt round straight through the sorceress's skull, and though the Hive City laid in ruins, the demonic invasion was broken as the Gulf Hawks withdrew to bring reinforcements and aid. The Battle of New Plata was on the toxic swarm world that the Gulf Hawks answered a desperate distress call on. Captain Axelson and the 5th Company faced an orc war led by the war boss Ed Eater. For 4 long months, they held the central research station against endless waves of orcs, and when reinforcement from the Storm Sellers arrived with devastating firepower, Captain Axelson led a daring counterstrike into the depths of this swamp. Despite losing his right arm, he dueled and decapitated the orc warboss in brutal close combat, claiming the beast's skull as a trophy that he still carries to this very day. However, the bloodiest conflict in the chapter's recorded history was the Taradan campaign. When a Tau fleet began carpet-bombing Imperial worlds as a prelude to the Third Sphere expansion, the Imperium launched a massive counter-offensive. 5 Space Marine chapters, including the Gulf Hawks, Thousand Blades, Storm Zealots, Space Naga and Spectral Wolves, alongside 3 Imperial Guard regiments, fought to reclaim this system. What began as a campaign against the Tau, however, spiraled into a nightmarish 5-way war involving Orcs, Tyranid, Chaos Forces, Necrons of the Nephric dynasty, and Eldars from multiple craft worlds. After brutal fighting across multi-planets and moons, the Imperium retained control of a few key worlds, although at a terrible cost. The campaign ended with no true victor, only survivors in a system forever scarred by war. Whew, what a ride! To me, this is so wonderful. A fan that has gone into incredible detail with every facet and obviously enjoying themselves all along the way. Are there inconsistencies? Of course, but that's not really the point. Anyways, thank you so much for watching the video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.